Welcome to Cody in the Cinema. Today I'm discussing my reaction, my first thoughts, my gut reaction, my reflection on The House That Jack Built and my first experience with the controversial, divisive director Lars von Trier. And I'm just kind of off the script here. You're just getting my thoughts and sort of that gut reaction, because I do think that this film, when you watch it, is going to, if you haven't seen it or if you watch it again even, it's going to create some kind of reaction for you, for the better or worse. And those who don't know, this is an incredibly disturbing film about this sometimes described failed architect who turns serial killer. He has limited empathy, if any, and a lot of the film, most of the film, is just following his life and his different adventures. It's divided into roughly 5 parts, plus a little bit extra. And this is what I found. Matt Dillon, phenomenal, superb, excellent, perfect acting. This is one of the great performances in movie history. His ability to feel like a selfish, narcissistic, absorbed clown, and then also be scary, but also feel like he has no emotions at times and no empathy. Like, it's a lot of different notes he hits. And I just can't imagine the amount of work he put into this to be able to do this. I like how the film can feel very claustrophobic when we find where he takes his victims. I think that part of the film works really well. The middle, and like when he goes to visit this older woman in her house, that scene had incredible blocking, and I thought the director did a really good job, because I was watching that and I was thinking, I don't know how many times they had to fool around with this for this to work exactly how it did. And then it kind of gets into this self-described OCD and this criminals need to clean up, which was kind of abandoned through the movie, but that's okay. And where I liked it less was when we get into, he meets this girlfriend, and that part, once we get to that part of the film, I feel like we're kind of going in circles a little bit. I mean, we're still examining other pieces of his life. He runs into this family before that, and I like that segment really well too. I think after that, the film takes a little bit of a quality dive for me personally. In the end, while I respect how ambitious it is, and it's quite ambitious, I don't think the end quite landed for me the way a lot of the rest of the film did. I'm talking the very end, where we kind of go into this whole different piece, right? If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. This whole other realm. That I do appreciate. There's one actor who, I can't think of his name right now, because again, I'm doing this without a script, but there was an actor who's in the Nosferatu, the one that I love with Herzog, and I'll try to put his name up on the video later once I look it up. But I enjoyed his character and that character's role in the film. I did like I said, I liked seeing Matt Dillon have to, go through all these different modes and personalities. And the real question that I had going into The House That Jack Built was, would I watch this film and then would I be tempted to watch others from the director? And how would this stack up, say, to a lot of the directors that are divisive? And my very first film, one in, I want to see more. I do not want to watch his filmography quite as much as I want to watch other divisive directors like David Lynch. So I don't think, for me, my first experience wasn't quite to that level. But I still think this is a talented director, and I can see why people wouldn't like The House That Jack Built beyond it just being very disturbing. And to be clear, if you have never watched The House That Jack Built, it is disturbing in parts. I still think this is like a talented director, and I can see how he could develop kind of a cult following for people who want to. I understand why Uma Thurman had such a limited role in the film. I actually think that there was more there that could have been explored, and I get it would change some things in the narrative, but I thought that character was more interesting than I think the girlfriend later. I didn't like. She did a fine job acting, but I actually thought that there was more with her than with that other character. And I don't know, I would have liked to see more of that. But I do think that the first opening act really sets the stage really well, because it doesn't. In the first act, you're not just thrown into the abysmal misery that is this film. Now, as far as the art parts, this was interesting to me because when he's talking about his love for art and his understanding of it, I mean, he's clearly kind of a buffoon discussing this, and I like that. It's like he almost feels like he has this superior understanding of art and literature and whatever, you know, whatever you want to say about that, but I don't know that he actually did or does. Clearly he has a lot of issues. You get some indications as to why he is the way he is, but the film, I don't think, ever takes this position that he had a bad childhood, therefore he became a serial killer. It's pretty clear that from the beginning he's evil. And I do like that about the film. I like that the film makes no excuse for his behavior. But probably the best part of the film, besides Dylan's performance, was the actual black comedy when it's there, because this film can be kind of funny in that way. And I think that that really helps, especially toward the beginning. Like I said, I just don't know that all of the, I don't know if all those pieces are held consistently enough by the time we get to like the fourth and fifth act and so on. So for me, this was like a 3.5 out of 5, a strong film at times that could have been better, but I am definitely excited to see more from the director. He just may not be at the very top of my list, but I wanted to put this video out there for those of you who are a big fan of this director, and you can tell me in the comments, like, okay, this is my first experience, where should I go next, right? Is there something I'm not seeing? What more would you share? You know, again, this is my very first take with this, so a lot of times I'll sit on a film and a year later I'll be like, oh gosh, I like that more than I thought I did. So I did want to hear your reactions, your thoughts on this director, this film, what I should watch next, especially because there are 3 or 4 I'm considering. But that's just my thoughts as a first-time viewer. If you like the content and want to give me a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't to Cody in the Cinema.